Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. Hope you guys are well today. Um, for the encouragement of today, we're going to do kind of like a more um, identified reading where we'll be examining through the medicine wheel. And so we're going to take a look at specific points in focus for us. Okay. This is a general reading. And so just keep in mind that you'll need to use your discernment to determine whether or not this is for you because it's general. If you are looking for a personal reading, you can hit me up in my email or go over to my calendar and you can schedule as well. So don't try to make this fit because it's general. It could absolutely. Sometimes it gets really specific. Sometimes it's very general. You can pick certain things that will resonate for you personally. But let's take a look and see. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. This channel it is dedicated to, assist with growth and assist with inspiration, with helping to deepen your awareness. And so we're going to see what comes out today, specifically using my Dream Card Oracle today. I'll also be tapping into some of the planetary and some of the planetary energies with astrology, tapping into some signs that may be very relevant in the reading. And then, of course, using our tarot. So let's see what comes out. I hope you guys are well. It is Thursday. It's Thursday. So for those of you that have a traditional work week, we're almost there. Almost. So let's see what comes out for us today. Spirit, what do you have to say through the medicine wheel? Through the medicine wheel today. I'm basically just laying out kind of like a cross, an overlapping cross. This is a 6-card layout that we're going to take a look at today. And we're asking Spirit to give as much information as possible that will be helpful for those that will be tapping into this reading. Bring in guidance, illumination, whatever's needed to help us to move forward, even to get clarity in this moment, okay? Thank you, Spirit. Okay, and so again, like, share, comment, subscribe if you have not. Hit the bell if you find yourself subscribing for the first time. And let's take a look and see what we have here. Boom. All right, and so we're going to start with the East, the card that comes out on the East. This is air energy, and this talks about possible new beginnings coming in and what you're bringing in. And for someone, we have shopping. Very interesting. Shopping comes out. Now, this is all about paying attention to what we allow to energize us, right? What we allow to tap into us. I know it says shopping. So for some, this could be around you going out and experiencing some type of new beginning, maybe throwing out some old things so that you can welcome in some new things. But it's really paying attention to the energy of what you're tapping into, what you're energizing, and even pulling towards you. And we're talking about the energy of the East. And it's the element of air. And so we're talking about how we're thinking, mental energy, what we are giving power to. And the fact that shopping comes out is really interesting because this could talk about having an abundance of resources at your disposal right now. Maybe something is in overflow. And there's the energy of determining like what you're going to choose, what you'll choose to pour into, which source will you choose to focus on. And so this is a moment to really stop and think. It's air energy, right? To stop and think, take a breath, unplug so that you can get clarity in this moment. There's something here too about consumer culture, consumer consciousness, and making sure that you're aware. For those of you that may be tapping into getting rid of some old things and now you're going out to replenish or replace that. Now, I can't help but think too, for a lot of us in our modern day culture, shopping is for many kind of like a trauma response, right? What do they call it? They call it retail therapy. There's something about that coming in to be aware of. Um, and being aware of some false sense of security when we look at it that way. Really, there's no such thing as retail therapy, right? Because what happens is we end up in debt many times, or we end up with all this stuff that we really don't even need or we don't even use, right? Because it's pouring from a place of pain. And instead of dealing with the pain or sitting in that uncomfortable energy, we reach for something else instead of dealing with the energy that needs to be dealt with. And so it's almost like prolonging the healing, right? And so there's something about really being aware of that and allowing yourself to pay attention to what it is that you're energizing. Okay. What's going through your mind when you get triggered or when you reach a point where you need to sit and deal with your pain, right? This is what this is bringing up from the east. This is air energy coming in right now. Spirit is bringing up. For some of you, that could be throwing out something and replacing something, whether it's big or small. This also could be needing to take a moment to kind of chew, especially as it pertains to large purchases. Allow yourself to chew on it a minute before you just jump in to anything to make sure that that's really what you want. Make sure that this is an investment that you're able to make. There's something about holding yourself back and just kind of sitting in the idea before moving on it when it comes to going and spending money or making a commitment. There's some growth out of some false belief that may be available here. There may even be the energy of learning to be content and settled with where you are, what you have, and not necessarily always looking on the other side at what you feel might be greener, but being content with what you have, not always having to upgrade to something better because you see it. Yeah. And so this is really coming from a place of wholeness and fullness and understanding how we utilize our resources. And that doesn't always mean money, right? It could also mean time. It could also mean energy as well. This could also pertain to how we are investing in connections and relationships and even creative ventures, how we kind of wrap ourselves around our ideologies. That really, it's things that will at some point give us some return on what we're investing. And so it's making sure that we understand that we're investing wisely is a good way to put that. So shopping comes out first. That's the first energy, and it's air energy. And so I'm just going to get a little bit of clarity on that. Why is shopping here for the East? And then we're going to start moving along. Y'all know I could be very, very long-winded. The Seven of Wands. So yeah, this is setting boundaries for yourself and basing it on value. 2, 5, 2, or 7, and the Hierophant comes out. This is setting boundaries according to your value. So whatever it is that you are delving into or about to pour your energy into, there's the need to make sure that it is aligned, like with your values, right? Not just going for anything, basically, but sit in that a minute and make sure it's right. Okay. Not taking the first offer that comes along because it looks good or it feels good or because somebody else has it, right? But is it aligned for you? That's the question. Is it aligned for you? Okay. And then we have baby coming out next. Baby. And this card is representing the South and the element of fire. So this is all about passion and this intense energy and feeling that comes from within. This could also be the elements, very fiery elements like anger as well. There's a lot of different emotions that we are able to feel, right? And so it could be represented in any of those emotions being felt intensely, right? And the South is all about the element of fire, what we're representing, what we're expressing or releasing. And this is all about reconnecting to our inner innocence when we look at baby. Now, the element of fire, someone is very passionate in this regard. It could absolutely be, just generally speaking, someone wanting to, delve into that experience here. Um, Practically speaking, this could be something that's very passionate for you right now. Okay. But when we think of the oracle of baby, this is tapping into our innocence. And even as we're talking about this very fiery energy, we're talking about passionate energies, right? And there's something about connecting with the innocence or a beginner's mind. When we think of a baby is very innocent, fragile, needs direction, right? It may need a lot of support and assistance. It's almost like a beginner's mind, fresh and new, and having an opportunity even to release baggage. And when we talk about that energy of anger or just this fiery energy of resentment, right? This might be an opportunity to start something again, to start something anew, and to release things and start off with a clean slate, right? There's something about the process of birthing as well, possibly entering into new connections or new experiences, new endeavors, new ways of thinking, and new ways of experiencing our heart as well. There's some connection with our higher self in terms of a baby, right? There's an umbilical cord that connects the baby with the mother. There's some connection here with our higher self that we are being guided by, maybe feeding us in some type of way, um, as we are being guided along on this journey. And maybe even entering into more of an innocent state of being. Babies are very innocent in that they've yet to learn things like danger or to be aware. They see the world as a very safe place, um, and a friendly place, and almost kind of like from a very egoic perspective. It's almost like they consider or they see the world as revolving around them. And so this may be a time where spirit may be allowing you to kind of relax and receive the support as you're entering into new experiences right now. You don't have to have all the answers right now. Okay. Allow yourself to be cared for. There's some new opportunity that's on the horizon, and some level of untapped potential that's available here, some new experience, a new relationship, a new project that's coming forward for you. For some of you, it is actual conception of a child, or some type of project that's going to actually give life. Okay. And so, Spirit is asking you, through the energy of fire, this is fire element, to allow yourself to experience this. This is for you. And not just grudgingly or like edging in, but Spirit is saying with complete trust, allow the universe to be kind of like this, what do they call it? A midwife or a doula. Allow the universe to be your doula as you're being birthed into this new experience, this new chapter. Someone's entering into a very new chapter that's going to be able to help you to tap into your passions, because this is fire energy, intense feelings. This may be something that you are very passionate about. So, what is this for my viewer here? Baby, what is this? Five of Pentacles. For someone, this is going in the Five of Wands. Ooh, this is bringing in change. Yeah. For some of you, this is going to bring in a change in your circumstances and how you move, right? The opportunities. Even for some of you, you have a lot of potential around you that's waiting or that needs some level of maybe a spark just to get it going, right? There's some change that's going to bring some level of order, organization, that's going to change your finances and how you kind of sow your energy. Okay. And this could have something to do with what you have to offer, something you're passionate about. Okay. That's what I'm getting there. Fire energy. And then we have dance coming from the west. Dance is coming from the west, and it's the element of fire. It's very fluid energy, very introspective, very depth, mature energy. It's almost like what you are learning. You're learning to dance with life and to kind of allow yourself to flow. Maybe you're somebody who has been very rigid, like you already have in your mind how things should be and how they're going to work out. But there's a lot to be learned there with dance. This is allowing yourself to learn how to flow with life. And, water, be like water, Bruce Lee said. And water takes the form of any container that it sits in or any direction that it is led in. Be like water. There's something about that coming out here. Allowing yourself to be free and to move with the rhythm of your soul is what the advice is for dance. And this is the energy um, coming from the West, and it's water energy, very fluid energy. And this is about you learning how to move. We're talking about twisting, turning, shouting, twirling in a way that makes your heart happy. Yeah. There's a bit of allowing yourself to be liberated in the moment that you feel like moving, like expressing, you know, and not being judgmental about it. Okay. Because there's something about you discovering your unique movement, the uniqueness that you carry, that is going to be like the inspiration for you being able to move in your passion, in your authenticity, in the spur of the moment. It's almost like inspired movement. Okay. Very sensual, very magical, ecstatic, very liberating, connecting with your intuition and doing it with grace. And then the more you do this, the more you allow this rhythm, this fluidity to flow within you, the easier it is for you to find, the measurement and the timing and the rhythm of it. And so there's something about allowing yourself to be liberated and allowing your soul to be free to flow. Water energy coming from the West. Sometimes our human experience can make us a little stuffy and a little stiff, where we get to the point where we've been disappointed and we get afraid to move. We get afraid to be our authentic energy, right? But this is saying, it's time to release yourself. Part of that is this baby being able to release anything that has, you know, caused death. Baby is talking about being reborn, renewed, having a new experience, releasing the old. And I did specifically here with this energy, anger and repressed anger, and just those very passionate, fiery, high intense energies are being renewed for you. They're being released so that you can have this new experience and enter into your dance, enter into your liberation, to be able to move and flow with the ebb, right? The ebb and flow of life, the dance of your soul. You're being invited to participate in this. And when we look at dancing, we're really looking at this sense of aliveness that we all are able to enjoy and express, this sense of self-expression, to be uninhibited, to be unabashed and even sexual and passionate and primal, right? Those very natural, innate senses that we have. And so there's something about you entering into this energy. And for many of you, when you do that, you'll start attracting the things that are meant for you, right? Partnerships, opportunities. But these are things that require creative expression and harmony, And so this is all about moving to the rhythm of your soul and understanding that life is your dance partner and that it's okay to let it lead you from step to step, from groove to groove. And, allow that every step that you make, allow it to be a creative expression. So what is this dance? Ooh, something you desire. You have desired this type of freedom and liberation, this very flowy feeling of entering into this uninhibited sense of being free to go right when you feel led to go right, right? to go down when you feel led to go down, being free to move as life beckons you. Okay. And the Queen of Cups, very balanced, and being led, right? Being free to be led in any way, being balanced in that, right? Very beautiful emotional energy that comes out of the West. It is water energy. And the Queen of Cups comes out. That's water energy. Along with the star. And so this is leading you, your ability to flow with where you're being led in any given moment is what leads you to the divine balance, right? Sometimes we kind of think it's counterclockwise. It's like, oh, I don't know, should I do that? That feels very, because we're not used to allowing ourselves to go with the flow. It feels very counterbalance, very counterclockwise, but it actually is leading you to more balance, more trust in yourself and your ability to move and trust the innate part of who you are, your being. It's right. It doesn't feel like it because we're not used to moving on that level, but it is. And it leads us to places that otherwise we wouldn't be able to navigate to. Okay. And so dance is coming out because you're being led to a place where you're going to have this level of freedom. Spirit is inviting you in to free yourself, to be able to move with the flow of life, to move like water. Ooh, I love that. And then we have elevator coming out. And this is coming from the north. This is the element of earth. Elevator, the element of earth, talking about wisdom, elder wisdom, completion, groundedness. This is bringing in an ending of repetitive cycles. This will be actually what you will end up teaching for someone here, for many of you, how to rise above. How to rise above. We think of an elevator, we're thinking of, this contraption that we step into and we push a specific button and it gives us the desire, right? When we get in the elevator, we want to go up to higher heights. And there's this ability to do something specific to make that happen. In this case, we're talking about life in general, right? Being able to have certain levers to manifest these experiences that lift us up in life. And for someone, you're elevating. You are elevating right now to certain levels of mastery and skills and success. These opportunities are coming in for you. And as you elevate to each new level, there's like this awareness that's expanding as well. There's this wisdom that you're learning through your experiences and power and stature that you're being given, to be able to manifest these experiences. And not to take that lightly, because as I always say, with power comes responsibility. It's not just for us to do what we will, when we want, how we want, but this comes with responsibility. And in order to remain grounded, right, as we grow and expand and rise up, we have to keep in mind that it doesn't have to be this overwhelming, overbearing experience. It could be very simple. Keep it simple, sweetie, right? Keep it simple. Sometimes we end up sabotaging our success right here at this point because we fear losing things. It's like, ooh, I got to give that up, or I got to walk away from them. Well, what would I be without that or them? It's going to be lonely over there without, those people that I'm used to. Many people sabotage it at this point because they're afraid to separate from things and people, and they allow them to be held down. They can't elevate because they don't want to release that baby energy. They don't want to release so that they can enter into or be born anew, right? But let that be your mantra. That this is an experience that not only you can have, but let us all have this experience. As I am being lifted, we're all being lifted. This energy is the energy of ambition. And for whoever you are, this is your earth energy. This is what many of you will teach, how to elevate for whoever you are, how to elevate. And this is something that will not just happen once. We go from experience to experience, from glory to glory. This is an ever evolving experience that we have here. But for some of you, you are to teach this and the challenges around this. There's something about your experiences from the past that will be very essential for what you will teach. This is part of you being equipped to be able to teach. For someone, this could be, you desiring to elevate in your career status or your spiritual awareness, or even just to move up in the world. You're very aware, of these ways that you can do that. In essence, those buttons that you can push in the elevator, right? You're very aware of what that is. And so there's a sense of confidence here and control over certain situations that may have caused, or you've had some kind of challenge in controlling certain situations. And so, but this is you becoming equipped, though. This is you becoming equipped and learning what you will then be able to turn around and teach through your situations that you've had experience with. Understanding not everything happens lateral, right? It's not always straight up. Sometimes it's sitting here for a minute. Sometimes it's going from side to side. Like the journey is not always straightforward. Sometimes it's up, down, sideways, round, right? There's different methods of being elevated. But for your experience, I feel like I'm talking to someone who has a lot of experience. This is going to be something that if you are not already, you're teaching. Okay, you will teach. Why is elevator here? How to rise above. Why is elevator here today? Elevator. Yeah, we're talking about that full energy. The King of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. I mean, the Eight of Wands. And so this is something that you'll teach. It could be for those just entering into the experience that you are very equipped to teach about. This could be about people experiencing new seasons in life. But overall, whatever the certain situation is, it's about rising. It's about elevating in life. Overall, there's this sense of wisdom being given here with the earth energy. And seeing how that is cultivated through our experiences and our growing awareness through these experiences. It's interesting. We have the Fool here, which talks about entering into new energy, right? Allowing yourself to be adventurous with life, take chances when possible. But then we have this dynamic between the Eight of Wands, which is fast movement, and the King of Pentacles, which is slow movement. So there's this wisdom, this very divine wisdom through experience of knowing, when to move, how to move, when to move quickly, when not to move quickly with the King of Pentacles. There's this element of wisdom that's here that encompasses, right, this full overall experience of being able to enter into new experiences and being aware and equipped and learning how to move. A very well-rounded picture of having lots of different experiences and cultivating knowledge from those experiences. The King of Pentacles is very wise, not quick to jump into anything. It doesn't mean that they can't do things quickly, right? There may be just a time and a season for things. It's the wisdom to know how to move. Okay. So there's something you'll be teaching about elevation. And I even want to say ascension. Ascension for whoever you are. Okay. Let's keep going. This reading is getting a little lengthy. If you're liking the reading, go ahead and hit the like button. Share, subscribe. Let me know how it's resonating for you. All right. All right. And then our next card is Angel. Okay. Angel comes out. And this card represents the wisdom from above. So we're looking at Grandfather Sky, the wisdom that comes from above. And this is kind of like tapping into our highest perspective, looking at our omniscient awareness, the wisdom that is being projected right now. Very angelic wisdom, very high level wisdom being channeled through the divine, right? It's that kind of wisdom, tapping into our higher selves when we look at our angelic energy. It's a wisdom coming from above. Yeah, most definitely. And so this is almost like having just this host of energy available when needed, and being able to, it's understanding that that's available, that's part of our experience, right? And this is utilizing that, accepting, the energy, the message coming through this source, understanding that the message is always about understanding how taken care of we are, how loved you are, more than you even realize, and that we're never alone. This is omniscience. That means there's no place that we could go. I don't care how deep into the darkest cave you can find on earth, you'll never be alone. You take this party band with you, okay? And this energy is always revealing information that's life changing and reassuring us through those changes, also delivering guidance and protection beyond what we can even realize. Sometimes I look back at my life and I'm like, my jaw is just on the floor, the amount of protection that I've had my whole life long, even in my dumb days. I'm so glad there was an internet when I was growing up, because Lord knows, right? But as I look back, I'm like, thank you. Oh my. Hmm. But it's understanding beyond what we can even measure how protected and guided we are. And so, in knowing that, as we look at this energy from the grandfather sky, our connection with the divine, omniscient presence that we have available, our job is to acknowledge that presence of these beings of light and receive, recognize what's being given in any moment. Not only what acknowledge it, but to act on it, accept it, say yes, right? So this is all about our supernatural support coming from grandfather skies, understanding what we have at our beck and call, and the fact that we have this ability to actually even tap into our own divine essence when it comes to healing, higher guidance, even the energy of love and adoration. We're always being guided towards expansion in our knowing. Okay. And so this is all about realizing how gifted and uplifted by all that we see, by even what we don't see. Somebody got angels. Spirit wants you to know you got angels, and everything is working to support your greatest good. Believe that. We're talking about our highest perspective, our omniscient awareness. And this is wisdom that we need to project outwardly. Okay. So, what is this? Why did angel come out in our grandfather's sky? Our highest perspective. Why did angel come out? Maybe somebody just needs to know this today. King of Swords. Somebody needs a reminder. Somebody needs to know this. And the King of Cups. Yeah, Spirit is giving you a gentle reminder, extending this to you. If you don't know, now you know. Okay. With the King of Cups, Spirit may just be offering this bit of wisdom to you to understand how divine you are, how protected you have been, and how you are being guided in all things. Okay. And that needs to become a part of how you operate, knowing this, knowing this. Okay. Then lastly, we have, when we look at grandmother, um, Earth, we have internets. I love this. The fact that we are connected with everything. Everything that has been created and connected in all things. We've forgotten that. And so this represents the wisdom from below, Grandmother Earth, which is nurturing, healing, guidance, what we are to embody. The fact that we are connected with everything. We need to embody that. And when we think of the internet, we are embracing the fact that we are the world and the world is us. When we really get that, like, it changes everything. The fact that we are intertwined with everything and everyone. It is a small world after all, isn't it? It is. And the fact that all of humanity is within us and we have access to it all from the most unfamiliar parts. I believe there are still tribes that haven't been incorporated into society. They still live out in very innate ways, right? From the most outer parts of, people that are not a part of the inner collective of society to those that are right here in the core of it. We are connected from the very most distant past, right? All the way through the future connections, right? We're connected. Just like the internet, right? There's nothing really that we can't find out or connect to through the internet with just a stroke, a keystroke, right? Everything is available. In that same way, we are connected through this earth realm to everything. When we look at the root of any pain that we've experienced, it's all rooted in false belief that we're separate from each other. We're really not. We're all one. And when we get the opportunity to remember that oneness, there's this reality that's awakened, that we exist in this unified field, and all of life is ultimately on our side. It really just depends on how we look at it, right? Our highest perspective. And thinking of it in terms of the worldwide net, right? It's all talking about our connection, our ability to connect with everything and everyone, how it really can be a very wonderful relationship or very beautiful opportunities. There's this abundance that's available and solutions through that connection, right? It's understanding what's available to us. And so the internet is talking about that we are one with all people, all places, and ideas and possibilities. When we think of the World Wide Web, it's like almost unlimited, the unlimited realization of what's possible. Like I can hit a couple of words and hit send, and in a matter of seconds, the message reaches the farthest depths of the earth from me, all the way to the other side of the earth in just a matter of seconds. In that same way, we have that same connection, right? You get it? Okay, grandmother Earth, talking about our connection with all things. Okay, and the internet came out. It's just reiterating that. It's being clarified by the strength. And so there's this realization of being able to operate in that effectively, boldly, but also there's a sense of humility and understanding that too, with the strength, using that effectively. The King of Cups comes out. Yeah, using that effectively, and understanding the privilege of that and how that could be something that's very beneficial with the King of Cups. There's this very wise, experienced, yet very humble, you know, energy that's able to really navigate effectively with this, right? It's almost like use it to your advantage, but don't allow it to become a tool of destruction. Don't allow it to go to your head and allow you to become egoic in the power of this, but use it wisely, use it effectively. The King of Cups is a beautiful connector. I think that's a beautiful example to bring out for this, because the King of Cups, that's what they do. They connect very well because they also understand who they are, and they're very comfortable in that, which allows them to connect to others in a very effective way. And people feel comfortable, right, around the King of Cups. And so there's something about using what you have humbly but effectively. Okay, using this advantage that you have. And so, yeah, this is what's coming out in the medicine wheel right now today. And so, for whoever you are, I do feel like Spirit wants you to know. We have the third house coming out. We have Virgo and we have Cancer. And so the third house is all about connecting, making right connections. It's also about your ideas and kind of sparking your ideas for whoever you are that's tapping into this message, looking at what you have at your disposal or who you have around you. This is like short-term thinking of trying to get something off of the ground. This is all about your creativity, right? And Virgo energy brings this energy of serving others and being very detail oriented and doing kind of the difficult things, right? Doing what must be done to get things rolling, having a method to your madness, right? Being able to pinpoint solutions, difficulties, and solutions for those difficulties. Yeah. And then Cancer comes out with this very connected energy. The King of Cups was a very good example of the Cancer energy. It's being very connected with your what you're doing, having a good connection emotionally as well. So I get this very beautiful, rounded sense while you're creating, being very effective with your strategy, your methods, but also being connected with the heart space. So you don't lose sense of your purpose and your passion of why you're doing it and the fulfillment for yourself while you're doing it. Being very connected inwardly and outwardly. And so, Spirit has brought in lots of messages here. I feel like for whoever you are, you're in a position right now where you have a lot of resources. Spirit has given you a lot to work with. It's a matter of you being in tune with what you are energizing with your resources, what you're pouring into with your resources. You've entered into this new space where you have an opportunity to experience something new. You have an opportunity to release the baggage. Spirit is giving you a new opportunity to start again, to experience something beautiful. Your job is to learn how to flow with it, right? The dance of life, the dance of your soul that wants to come forward and be free to move. Now, your job here, I feel like part of what you will be helping others with, for whoever you are, what you're teaching is ascension, it's elevation, it's what you've learned through your experiences here. You'll then turn around and help others, right? What does that say? When you make it out, don't forget to come back and help others make it out. That's the whole idea around our experience. Now, there's a lot of assistance, a lot of support that you have in the spirit realm. There's a heavy connection of angelic presence that rests on you. Spirit wants you to know that your perspective with your higher sense of omniscience, that connection is very strong. Tap into it. And lastly, understand that you are very connected with everything around you and everyone. So much so that everything is you. Everyone is you. And so many beautiful perspectives coming through here. It's a very rounded message. I feel like that came out today. Very beautiful for whoever this taps into. Let's see, any last encouragement for my viewer? Any last words of wisdom that we can take away? The Eagle King comes out. I think that came out yesterday. Look at the big picture. Yeah. You know, you are connected to everything and everything is you. You are divinely supported as well. Angelic help comes out. It's bigger than us, right? We're all connected to this fabric that's being woven called the human experience. Look at the bigger picture, Spirit is saying. We also have spiral dance, which is talking kind of like about that energy of not having a straight line, but there's some twists and turns and curves along the way. We're gonna get there, but Spirit is gonna make it interesting. There's some stops that we need to make along the way. Just understand that it's a spiral dance, right? We came out with the card, the dance. Learn to move to the rhythm of your soul. It can only embellish this experience and add some flavor to it too. The spiral dancer. Spirit is saying that's okay. And lastly, the Lady of Lightning. This brings in surprises, sometimes shock. This is almost like the tower energy. Total paradigm shift. Somebody's having or is about to have a total paradigm shift. Are you ready? Are you ready? You may be, in fact, be the one bringing in this paradigm shift. This may be the weight of what you carry to cause change in the world. Wherever you step, you bring this sense of lightning. They're not ready, but they're going to get ready. Okay. And so Spirit is just letting you know, like, yeah, there's some very exciting things that are about to happen that may, in fact, for many of us, be already happening. Okay. So hopefully this brings in some perspective for you, some encouragement. some inspiration. Let me know if it resonates. Um, and we will see you all next time. That is your reading coming through the medicine wheel. All right. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led. Let me know if it resonates. And if you're looking for a personal reading, you can definitely go over to my calendar. You can also email me as well. I would love, love, love to read for you. Okay. If you have questions, feel free to comment or send me an email as well. Blood Moon Oracle here. That's the channel. My name is Letty. All right. I will see you all next time. Thanks for stopping by.